Welcome back to another Q&A with us, the British Fist.
Captain.
As you can see, me, Mr. Pike, I'm wearing the traditional V-neck shirt that I usually would wear, and NJ wearing something totally out of character, a pink shirt. But that's definitely totally in character. Yeah. Let's just get straight onto these questions. You guys know how to ask us questions down in the comment section below through Facebook, Twitter, inboxing us. Whatever's going on with Google fucking Plus right now, we don't really know. So we're just going to get straight into the question. Jon Snow. Jon Snow. What a legend he was at school. Since Rey Mysterio recently made a return, how long do you think he'll stay in the WWE, and what should his role in the company be going forward?
Straight away, the fact is, WWE had these big plans for Rey Mysterio to put over the next version of Rey Mysterio. Pretty much Sin Cara, whoever you want to call him. That failed, so bringing Rey Mysterio back, not to fulfill that, without any other goals to bring Rey Mysterio back for any other reason, I don't think it was needed.
I personally think that they brought Rey Mysterio back maybe for a little bit of star power at Survivor Series, possibly in that Survivor Series match that they made at the last minute. How long will he stay in WWE? Who knows? It depends how good his knee is right now. What should his role be in the company going forward? Probably putting over mid-card talent, as we don't really have many people that can actually do that.
Sadly, I'm at a point now. The fact that Rey Mysterio has been in, out for a long time, I don't feel the fact that the Sin Cara thing fell through. I think Rey Mysterio could retire at any point, and no one would really care anymore.
It may be best for him to retire, as his knee is pretty bad. But if he wants to keep wrestling and wrestling in fat suits, then whatever. Adam Kahila, I hope I pronounced that correctly. How and when would you bring up Sami Zayn? They could have him win him at the Rumble with Bo Dallas, who could wear the belt, or he could attack JBL for screwing him over. How to bring in Sami Zayn? I'd bring him in as an underdog character, so maybe as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble and him going a decent length, maybe. I mean, they tried that kind of thing with Bo Dallas last year, and it never really went anywhere. But Sami Zayn, to be honest, I think in NXT they should have him win the NXT Championship first for a couple, and then have him, hold that for 6 or so months, and then bring him in. I think he's ready for it, but I just think a bit of fine-tuning here and there, and he'd be more ready. So not yet, but in the future, yes, I would definitely bring him up.
The sad thing about WWE recently, when they brought in stars from NXT, is that they get pushed too quickly.
Yes.
Like the Wyatt family going straight after attacking big names. You had
Shield.
Yeah, you had Curtis Axel. I think Zayn, as well as he's doing in NXT, should still be brought back at a more steady pace.
Yeah, possibly some kind of player in the mid-card for a while. I mean, start a guy off to, it's good to push a guy to the main event sometimes and to see how how his reaction is and how well he does up there. But sometimes it's good to build up a guy slow. I think Sami Zayn would be an example of one of those guys. As he is quite small, and he's not like a Ryback where you can imagine him ploughing through main eventers or anything. So there we go. JP Payne. Let's say Cena wins the Undisputed Championship and he's jumped by a masked superstar on the roster. Who would you want it to be, and what would you do with it? The masked man on the roster jumping your least favourite superstar.
Embarrassing as it would be, Sin Cara.
Shall I get the mask sizes ready for this?
Oh, me, yes. I think for embarrassment, Sin Cara. For surprise factor, I think bring back,
you really want to say Batista, don't you?
I'm close to it.
You've really done it.
So I think with Sin Cara for embarrassment.
John Cena wins the Undisputed title and he's jumped by a masked superstar on the roster. I'd say Triple H, because then he can turn around and say it's all about me, and I'm going to win the Undisputed Championship again. That'd just be funny. Shout out to Schleg Daddy there. Dark Blue T1757. Which Steamboat feud was the best all-round? Savage or Flair? I mean, we didn't really experience it at the time. Savage and Steamboat had that great match at WrestleMania 3. I'm not sure when. I know that Steamboat and Flair had a feud at some point. I just can't remember what it was. I believe it was back in NWA. I'm not entirely sure. Or WCW, one of the two. So considering I only know one of them, I'd have to say Steamboat and Savage. I mean, that's the only one I really know really much about.
There's been a few DVDs, YouTube clips, which have shown both kind of matches, but I got more entertained and enjoyment out of Steamboat and Savage. I can't give it examples of when they happened, but from DVDs and YouTube, I enjoy the Savage ones more.
American Alucard. Do you think Triple H is jealous of Daniel Bryan's wrestling skill and popularity? No, because Triple H is the COO of the company. Why would he be jealous of Daniel Bryan's wrestling skill and popularity when he's already one of the top dogs in the company?
Maybe it's not Daniel Bryan's fault, but you've seen Triple H staying at the top, his accomplishments. Daniel Bryan's getting there but slipped somewhere. It may not be Daniel Bryan's fault, but Triple H is up there and holding on to being up there, or Daniel Bryan, WWE's fault, or Daniel Bryan cannot seem to do that.
Yeah, I just don't. Triple H isn't jealous of it. It's just it's part of a storyline that he doesn't. It's a storyline. He's not really jealous of Daniel Bryan. There may be some shoot elements to it, possibly with Daniel Bryan being more of a smaller guy than what WWE would typically push, but. No, there's no jealousy there. It's just, if anything, it's all part of the storyline, to go out to get us to rally behind the underdog babyface, which would be more over. Joey Ryan booplex on ODB, or Candice LeRae doing a bullplex on Triple H.
Candice Michelle?
Candice LeRae. I believe she wrestled in TNA as one of the as part of that Gail Kim Open challenge, and she lasted about 2 minutes.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, okay, me too. Why? Although Joey Ryan booplex on ODB would be quite entertaining, I would say, especially with the porn stars, even though he's not in TNA anymore. Why has Orton gotten WWE titles being so boring and have no ability to cut promos or have entertaining matches? Because even though his promos are boring, and maybe his character at times has been boring, especially when he's a babyface, the bottom line is he got in with the right people. He was a young star that WWE felt that they could push and make a name out of. That's why he's getting so many championships. And plus, out of all the people on the roster right now, Randy Orton is one of the very few sort of household names they have.
Well, sadly, with Randy Orton, he's not the man he used to be. He's not the heel he used to be. So the title runs he gets now, I think it's more just to give us top names in the championship scene instead of other worthy wrestlers, because Orton's definitely not the Viper, the legend killer he used to be.
I mean, he was in the mid-card for quite a long period of time, from 2011 to 2013. So to be honest, it's kind of time that he had another time on top, really, in my opinion. But there you go. Do you remember that song that Damien Sandow cut under Randy Orton? Randy Orton has voices inside his head, just watching him puts me to bed, puts me to sleep.
And that's, to be honest, who should be getting the title pick matches, not Orton.
Yeah, but instead WWE decided to have him cash Money in the Bank on John Cena and then lose even though John Cena had one arm. Disgusting. WWE logic right there, hashtag.
Disgusting.
Bo the Xbox Pro. Try beating me on FIFA, or GTA, or Guitar Hero. Or MJ on WWE 2K14, even though he doesn't have it yet. Christmas present, best real locker room heat. Probably Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, because their real locker room heat was just amazing and led to that Survivor Series thing. Whoa.
I'd say any wrestler backstage and Vince McMahon, because he's always pushing John Cena and not them. Yep.
Always has to resort back to John Cena, doesn't it?
Yep.
Come on, real locker room heat. Come on, Mick Foley and Ric Flair.
Bret Hart, Vince.
Oh, Bret Hart and Vince. That was definitely some real locker room heat. Led to a really shitty match at WrestleMania 26, but there you go. I think Bret and Shawn will always be one of the biggest. Jim Cornette and Vince Russo. They never saw eye to eye. No, no, no. Who will be the WWE or now undisputed champion first? Reigns or Ambrose? Definitely Reigns.
At first, the WWE were teasing Ambrose, but they quickly maybe realised that there was more to Reigns than what met the eye, so it's going to be Reigns. Maybe a bit because of WWE's big guy logic, or maybe because Reigns has got more to offer right now than Ambrose.
Well, for a start, Roman Reigns, I believe, is related to The Rock, so that's an automatic shove up the arse right there for a push. Secondly, he's Samoan. So that's, generally Samoans get pushed in the WWE. Look at The Rock, look at Rikishi and people like that. Not the Usos, though, I'm afraid. And Reigns just has more of that main event look that WWE and Vince McMahon would obviously like to go for, as you mentioned. Even though Ambrose is incredibly talented, his character, I would describe him as one of the better talents in WWE right now. But it's got to be Reigns, just based on, well, facts, I guess. With the most recent Raw, they teased Cena being kind of corporate Cena, with Orton being pedigree. They teased it by having Cena stand too close to the authorities. The question is, would this be a good heel turn angle for Cena? No.
It's hard to say, because if John Cena joined force with Triple H to go against Orton,
he'd still be on top.
It would, because Triple H would keep him there.
Even more.
To turn heel, I guess people would hate John Cena for joining force with Triple H. but I don't think John Cena's ever going to turn heel. And all these kind of example scenarios, situations, timings, as much as they could make sense.
Do you remember John Cena where he said, "How about a little heel turn?" And he turned his heel. Do you remember that happened on Raw right after WrestleMania? The crowd ate that one up, didn't they? Oh, by the way, he said, forget the fact that most would take any Cena heel turn right now. But it kind of has to be done right, let's face it. Tom Cushney, how would you retire The Undertaker? WrestleMania 30 against John Cena. Undertaker beats John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 30, goes into the Hall of Fame. Brilliant career.
There's two wrestlers who I wish would be the one to face Taker in the finale. It's none other than his brother Kane, because Kane came into the WWF after Taker. Kane's the one who takes him out, but Kane's image is not quite there.
Hey, how about the image? How about the storyline of Undertaker trying to get Corporate Kane away and trying to bring Monster Kane back for one last match?
And Kane ended up beating him. No.
But which Taker would obviously have to win.
And the other wrestler I would have said is none other than Vince McMahon.
WrestleMania, Vince McMahon. Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if they had a match and he also inducted him into the Hall of Fame?
Buried alive. Because you know Vince McMahon has little tricks with his sleeve with Buried Alive, and he's the one who defeats Taker's streak.
Bray Wyatt. I'd love to see Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. Undertaker will obviously beat him, but it would be a good rub for a character. And plus, the Bray Wyatt and Undertaker characters would work so well, in my opinion, in a feud.
Yeah.
Exactly. Roy Green, do you think Harper and Rowan will be the new brothers of destruction? That's a good little way of segueing there from one question to another. Will they be the new brothers of destruction? No, they'll be the Wyatt family, their own unique brand of character.
I will say this. They will not be the Brother of Destruction because their acting and their characters are almost different. But I feel that Eric and Rowan should be a tag team that stay together with a specific name, the Wyatt family, instead of breaking up like Undertaker and Kane did.
Yeah, I mean, if they broke up, I'm not quite sure right now where that would leave them on the roster. So stay as the Wyatt family. It's a great gimmick. What do you think would happen if WWE got Hernandez from TNA? He'd be on NXT and would probably injure half the roster.
The way I see it is, I don't think Hernandez would last long. He'd be like a Heinrich. He wouldn't last long.
I think someone like a Heinrich or a Kozlov is a perfect way to describe a guy like Hernandez in WWE, in my opinion. With Lady Tapper and Tamina playing the same role, who will win their respective women's title first?
I'd tell you straight away.
Who cares?
To be honest, Tamina might hold it, but no one will care. But Lady Tapper's being booked better than Tamina is right now. Tamina's, bodyguard image has been killed off by Lady Tapper still there. So fingers crossed, Lady Tapper.
Who cares? Talas Apollo. Thoughts on bad news, Barrett? Well, I got some good news for you out there. Wade Barrett is back on TV. The bad news is that he is back on TV with a fucking shit gimmick.
So,
hashtag.
The one last week, not this one just gone, the week before, that made me laugh because he was out there going collecting money for charity, and at the end when he did his promo, he said, "This money is for me." That was brilliant. I thought that was great, but it's a wrestling show. Barrett came in as a wrestler, and now he's doing more of a commentary role, which is like, I'm going so into WWE, now I'm a commentary kind of way.
Start off with the leader of the Nexus, possibly making a new main event star, making him the main event of 2010, and now he's doing a stupid commentary gimmick, just stupid. Adrian Neville or Sami Zayn, which do you prefer? I definitely prefer Sami Zayn, mainly because Sami Zayn has this aura about him that makes me want to cheer him and get behind him. Now, I'm not saying Adrian Neville doesn't have that, but he doesn't have it as much as Sami Zayn. He's not as over.
As I don't watch NXT that often, I've heard more about Sami than Adrian, so I'm going to, for that reason, go with Sami.
Even though Adrian Neville is from Newcastle, England, so maybe we should be just getting behind the Brits. I don't know.
No, I'm not going to be controversial and all that stuff. You only support him because he's British. No.
Yeah, because that's why we love Wade Barrett, because, he's British. And that's why we're totally biased towards Wade Barrett, which we're not. We just said, he's a fucking... we just said he had a shit gimmick. We're not biased towards him just because he's British. RFV089. What are your thoughts on the Real Americans gimmick? It's an okay gimmick. I mean, it's not a great gimmick. I mean, they're being treated as jobbers, but it's no. What are you laughing at?
Sorry,
Says the man wearing a pink shirt.
Thank you.
Come on.
The Americans absolutely suck. I'm like, they were together. The only thing that's coming out, Zeb Coulter's not doing much for them. The only thing that's coming out of this is none other than Cesaro. Swagger's having to accept it, and Zeb Coulter's just like, well, I've done my part. What am I doing now? So to be honest, rubbish. If they win tag team gold, they'll only lose it in a week or so. No.
They're awesome on NXT, by the way. Why do you like Barrett so much? Well, in my opinion, Magnus is a better wrestler than him. The reason why we liked Barrett so much is because he was like a main event British guy that we could get behind, which is very rare in the WWE. Now, Magnus is very good. We both liked Magnus from the first time we saw him, mainly because he was British. But Magnus, I think, has developed a lot more over these last 2 or 3 years than Wade Barrett, and has rightfully claimed a place at the top of TNA when Wade Barrett really should have had that opportunity by now in WWE, in my opinion.
When I look at Barrett, I think he's got such a great package when he came in. He had the heel behind him. He had the great mic work. He could hold a good heel promo. He was like a top heel I could see being up there like an ex-Triple H. As for Magnus, I feel that he's not as good as Barrett on the mic, but he's still got a chance, if the TNA book him correctly, to be a supportive wrestler for the UK.
Would you have inducted Mike Tyson in the WWE Hall of Fame? The reason I'm asking is because many people seem to forget that during his early boxing career, he raped girls on several years in prison for it. Now, it's a difficult question because people say Chris Benoit should go into the Hall of Fame, but then he gave WWE a lot of bad publicity, being Lord Voldemort, etc. Whereas with Mike Tyson, he is one of those celebrities that did play a massive role in launching a big, profitable era for the WWE. So it's a bit hit and miss. You know, do you put him in there because of his wrestling, to what he did for the company, or do you focus on, you know, the stuff that happened ages ago and what the PR essentially will probably be about? You know, it's a difficult one. I mean, I personally think Mike Tyson had a rightful place in the Hall of Fame, personally.
Even though the WWE do look at their image, the fact that Tyson was a big part of the Attitude Era going forward, that's why he deserves it, because he played a big part in the WWF. And also, you're talking about, you know, the rape and women thing. I know it's a storyline, but didn't Triple H do something quite bad to a corpse?
Two names, Katie Vick.
Yes, so he should not go in the Hall of Fame because he did that to a corpse. No,
well, you know Triple H is going to be going in the Hall of Fame.
Twice,
numerous groups. Him, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Evolution, DX, the McMahon Helmsley faction. He's going to be going in with all those great factions. You know it. Howard Starr, are you tired of the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay? I know I am. Can't wait for him to turn heel and feud with Tensai. I was getting really tired of it, I must admit. And then they did a storyline where he was turning heel, and it was done okay. It was a decent storyline. I too just can't wait for him to turn heel and be a monster heel, because that's how I feel they should have probably brought him in the first place.
You remember when we were watching wrestling together?
Yes.
As soon as the Funkasaurus came out, I thought, this is not going to last long. This is going to be stupid. Yes, he's lasted longer than I thought, but I still don't like this character. This character's only there for the odd matches. They try and turn him heel now. It's not going to work.
Do you remember our reaction to Brodus Clay coming on the screen? We both went... Literally, it was like that for about 5 minutes. We were like, what the fuck is this? It was that bad, people. And we're going to end the Q&A there, by the way. So if you have any thoughts and comments on what we've answered during this Q&A, please do so in the comment section below. And let's hope that NJ doesn't wear a pink shirt again, because that was really distracting.
You know, people, I'm the shock because I wear the pink shirt. Until next time, people, from the Funker... shut the hell up. Thank you very much for watching, people. From Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, tune in for our next Q&A, and goodbye.